And I should mention now too, technology-wise, looks like you all are up on how Zoom works. You're all muted. Thank you for doing that. That certainly makes our sound work better. But there will be some times when you'll be invited to unmute, and I'll let you know what those are, specifically in the context of prayer, sharing prayers or hopes for healing, and then also the names of anybody whose death we're mourning. So we'll have some time to do that later in our time. Also, this is being recorded to make available to people who can't be here at the time when it's actually happening. So just be aware of that. The recording, I understand, saves audio, visual, and also anything that's in the chat. So bear that in mind with how you choose to participate. So I'm going to start because we try to keep this to a pretty compact time to make it work for people who do have other things going on in their lives. It's really wonderful to see you all. I'm glad you all are here. Good work making the time for yourself to be here. So I'm going to share a couple of things as an offering to you all. The intention being that in the space that we're in, it'll be useful to you, of course, and then also that, that you might use for yourself at other times as well, whenever they'd be of help to you. So the first thing I want to share is a chanting practice. It's from a Jewish teacher of chanting, but I think chanting is a sacred modality used in many different traditions. The chant is just one word. It's the Hebrew word hineni, but the chant also works, and I'll use it as well in English, the words here I am. Hineni in the Hebrew Bible comes at these moments of a lot of tension when somebody is being asked to be open to taking on something difficult. So I think it resonates with us there to the situation many of us are living, where we're being asked to do things that are difficult, where we may be asked in the future to do things that are difficult. So hineni is a word that might help us through its repetition to be prepared for that and to move ourselves in that direction of openness. Hineni, I think, here I am, also speaks to the moment that we're in where there's, it's a global pandemic. We are drawn around the world to situations that are heartbreaking and alarming, situations that also can give us some hope. And while it can be important to be aware of those things and to be drawn to places beyond where we are right now, it can also be important to be able to just ground ourselves where we are right now among the people who we have the most impact on, and just to care for ourselves sometimes, to not be pulled too far when doing so would just make it hard for us to live the everyday life we continue to live. So those two meanings of here I am, hineni, I offer in this chant. And the way the chanting practice works is first, there's a moment to set an intention, to ask, what do you for yourself want from the practice of this chant? Then there will be, in our case, 2 minutes to actually do the chanting. And then the practice in the chanting is just with each repetition of the word to try to bring a little bit more of your intention to bear and a little bit more of your spirit into it. You don't have to be musically gifted. If it was, I probably wouldn't do it. That's not one of the strengths I have to offer, unfortunately. You just have to try. It's one of those things where showing up is what counts. So we'll chant for 2 minutes, and then the last part of the chant, and an indispensable part of it, is actually a moment of silence at the end, where you see what feelings have come up, if the chant has opened this path for you that you're hoping, in your intention to notice that path is open to you and maybe take the first step in that direction. So those are the components of the chant. I'll first let you take some time to set what your intention is for the chant. So Give yourself a little while to do that, and then we'll begin the chant. And the chant itself is very simple. Again, that's why I can do it. So I'll just start chanting it, and you'll catch on very soon, I'm sure. So take a moment now, though, to set an intention, if it helps, to close your eyes, to settle in comfortably, to take some deep breaths. Give yourself that opportunity and ask yourself what you'd like from this practice. I'll begin to chant, and you're welcome to join me as you're ready. Again, we're all muted. It just makes the sound work better. Hineni, 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 hineni. Here I am, 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 hineni, 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 hineni. Here I am, 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 hineni, 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 hineni. Here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am, hineni, 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 hineni. Here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am, hineni, 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 hineni. And now a moment of silence, just a minute to see what arises, to see what's there, to see what paths may have opened. So now I'm going to shift us into a little bit of time for prayer or meditation. That is up to you. I'll frame it with some of the fundamental reflections or framings of Jewish prayer, and I think they'll be resonant, though, more broadly. So I'll mention a few of those and offer a framing and give you some time to, in your own heart, offer the prayers or set the intentions, or just to sit and meditate on what comes for you. And then I'll open up some time to share, if there are names you want to say aloud, of people whose healing you are hoping for or praying for. And then after that, we'll hold those prayers in our heart, and then we'll close out this with a few more of these sort of framing concepts. So again, letting yourself be comfortable, be in a posture where you can be present and alert. And you can close your eyes if you like. Take deep breaths. We begin to enter this space with an awareness of ancestors, those who've come before us, our biological ancestors or our spiritual ancestors, who, with the lessons they've taught us in their words or in their lives, give us examples of love and compassion, of dedication to life-sustaining practices, examples of resilience. We call them to our minds and into our hearts in this space. We call to mind an awareness of the power in the world, the power for transformation, for renewal, for growth. It's apparent to all of us who see signs of spring around us, the world being reborn and awakening. It's a power also for liberation, for justice, for solidarity. And we call to mind also an awareness of holiness, of whatever is most sacred to us, our most deeply held values and principles, our relationships to God in some cases. With an awareness of all of this, with our hearts full of it, we have a space now to bring up any prayers that we have in this moment or any intentions we want to set. Now I invite you to unmute yourself if you'd like to do that, to share the name of somebody whose healing you're hoping for, whose healing you're praying for. We can hold their name in this space of intention and prayer and meditation.
Halima.
Stephen Kelly.
So for the names that have been shared aloud and for the names that are held in our hearts, we hope for their healing in body and in spirit. And we close this space with a hope to be drawn closer to the power that enables us to live into our greatest potential, to realize the intentions that we set. And we bring to mind our sense of gratitude for all the good things around us and in the world. And we express at the close of every Jewish prayer, and I imagine prayers in many traditions, a hope for peace as well. So before we end, I want to share now all very short teaching that is from the Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Chernobyl, an 18th century Jewish teacher who just shared a reflection on illness and healing that I thought might be helpful to us now. He notes that in the experience of illness, it's very hard to discern any kind of love or goodness, but that if we can look carefully and look a little bit more broadly, we'll find that actually there is love and kindness apparent through this experience, specifically in the healers and in the caretakers who are present to take care of people through illness. And he teaches further, actually, that this kind of love and care that's present in those who take care of the sick in any of the ways that happens, that kind of love and care that they show is actually part of the fundamental fabric of the universe, of the source of all being, the source of life, and in the idiom that this rabbi is using, these things are part of God, that which gives life to the universe. So this healing, he says, this love and kindness is present in the healing and as the fabric of the universe. And he's teaching this actually in a teaching from this season of the year, which in the Jewish calendar is very close to Passover, the time of past and future liberation. And he invites us to think and to hope that the kindness and the love that's present in all the healing acts that we see around us will be part of a larger liberation and a larger freedom that comes to address the deep problems in our society that have been made apparent to us in how this pandemic plays out and were apparent to us before this pandemic happened. So that's what I hope we're able to do with the love that we can see coming out in response to this pandemic, the love that arises in us as well in response, to have hope and to have an intention to direct that love and that kindness towards the greater liberation that our world needs. So may it be so, and may we be part of making it so. In the last minute that we have, I will open our space as Jewish services end with this. I want to offer it to all of us, the opportunity to say out loud the name of anybody who we're mourning right now, whose life has been lost, whether in this current pandemic or in other circumstances. If you'd like to say the name of anybody who you're mourning, please unmute yourself and say that name if you'd like.
My former pediatrician, Ashraf Mutwalli.
Yeah, my grandmother, Genevieve Appa.
Recently lost an old friend of the family, Tim Silva, heart attack.
So we ask and we hope that the memories of all those who've been lost, those names mentioned here and those losing their lives each day, we ask that their memory be for a blessing and be a source of inspiration to those who are living, to bring out the best in us, to embody the best that the lives of those who lost taught us about the world. That brings us to the end of the time we have for this gathering. We'll do these again on future Thursdays at this time, 12:45. This would be meaningful to others. I hope you'll find your way. Eventually we'll post this at our website and you can share it there, the Interfaith Center. Thank you to Omar for helping us work out the plan for this, and to Shay Duncan Smith, and also to Sarah Willie LeBreton for helping us to put these together. As you're going on to whatever the next day and the days ahead hold for you, I invite you to again take a look at the faces you can see here, everyone gathered here, and let that connect you to the larger humanity within all of us and that we're all a part of. So again, thank you all for being here today, and I wish you all the best, good health, good spirits, and the strength to bring the gifts that you have into the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all. It's my pleasure.